Okay, guys, if you have just joined us, we are doing a why you're losing. So, if you've watched me for a while, you have seen my why I'm losing document, which I also talk about in my 0 to 2000 video and a couple other videos. But the idea is you have to review your games in order to get better. So, today, instead of doing a why I'm losing doc, we're going to do why you're losing. So, I'm going to give some members of my Discord some feedback. All right, we start with D4, D5, the London system. Beautiful. We love to see it. All right, see what I mean about this always happens in the London system. It's actually much better to leave the option to push your C pawn forward because you want to be able to strike at that right away and also leave room for your queen to potentially come out and attack this weakness. Yeah, so this is not a super accurate move, but it's like fine. But if you're trying to learn to play better as black against the London, this is not the move. You gotta either do this or do this. All right, bishop g4. You defuse the pin. Perfect. Okay, yes, people at this level very happy to take. Yeah, every time you trade, there should be a reason for the trade, right? And bringing your bishop out, and then like why? What? Your bishop had so much more of a life to live, you know? All right, moving a piece twice in the opening, not the best move. If you're gonna jump the knight in, it's usually better to prepare it a little bit more. Castles, yeah, that's fine. I like this. Yeah, this is fine. Normally you want to do this when, like, if your opponent's knight is still here and they can, like, threaten to come here and get your really nice London bishop. Yeah, and then that's the other problem. I mean, I guess this is fine. Do you take it? Yeah, you take it. It's okay. People are eager to trade at this level. Now you bring the knight out. Yeah, this is actually fine. Like, I think you're doing great. Knight back. All right, and now we enter the middle game where you don't know what to do. So instead of pushing pawns, right, this is a good move. Objectively, it's a good move. Usually in the London, and I won't be able to do this as well for other openings, admittedly, but usually in the London, you want to break with one of these two pawns in the center if you can, especially if your opponent has allowed you to, like, trade a bunch of pieces off. So bringing a rook here or bringing a rook here is really nice. So development doesn't just stop with your minor pieces. You also have to develop your rooks. And so putting them on potentially open files. So for example, if you brought this rook here and then you could push this and then, like, this file could open up, that's kind of a good plan. This is... sure. I don't really know. I mean, it gets the knight closer to the center. Yeah, again, instead of something like this, like, I would get a rook out. Get your rooks involved. Okay, yep. I like that. No need to let them take you there. Yeah, this is fine. It's fine. Like, chess.com is calling this excellent. I don't know. I think it's probably just because I've played these kind of positions so much, but, like, this move is just, like, begging to be played. This or this. One of those two. Yeah, so this is the problem, is that it creates this, like, backwards pawn, whereas if you'd, like, traded it off first, then this wouldn't be such a liability that black can, like, come in and attack. They can't really add that many attackers to it, but now you have to tie down your big old pieces to defending this little guy. Yep, perfect. Love to see it. We got the rooks in. All right, and now opponent is locking down the position. Okay, everybody's pushing their pawns. I would have actually, like, if I was playing this as white, I would be very happy to see this because it helps us open up this file. And in these kind of closed up positions, you want to get control of this file as quick as possible, right? So I bet you took. Yup. Took with the rook. Ooh, okay, that's a problem. Can anybody see why that's the problem? Yup. But got it. It's a fork with the pawn. So you got to be careful anytime you have pieces like one little square between them like this. If you're going to move this down here, you got to make sure that there's no pawn that can come up. But if I remember right, I think we missed this. Yep. So this, I think this sits here for a while. I mean, yeah, just the reason this is, like, a bad move is because, like, you just have this. Just had tunnel vision. Yeah, yep. Okay, again, black misses this. Okay, we also missed this. I bet you're gonna try and go here? That's my guess. That's usually the ooga booga plan I like to go for. Yep. We just gotta make sure, like, the position changes every move, right? So we gotta look every single time. Okay, are there any pieces that we can attack? All right, so we got a pawn push. Oh, so you did push the pawn. You just pushed it one square too far. Yeah, so this happens to me too. You get really like focused in on this one plan. This is also just a free pawn, right? Because they can't take it, because then they're also moving the rook. Oh. I mean... Oh, they could, you know what they could have done? They could have done this. And then it's really good for black. Yeah, and I mean, this just becomes a minefield. Once this knight gets in here, then e4. Oh, that's the idea. So instead of moving your rook, right, you just counterattack the queen. I believe that's what Gotham calls danger levels. All right, back to the actual game. Took with the rook, now opening up for this check, which I do hope you played. Yep, that was your whole idea. All right, and now we win the knight, right? Black doesn't have any more checks. Good. Love to see it. We're +3. Where did this go wrong? All right, takes. I don't know if you should take back. I think it's okay. The winning move here is this, attacking the rook. Like, this doesn't work because of that. So you actually have to go like this and then like this, and it's not fun. So that's the problem. You're losing a piece here. We took this. I'm sure your opponent doesn't find this move. Yeah, no. Okay, so now you gotta move the bishop. It also defends the bishop. Yeah, this is fine. I don't hate it. Okay, so we need to move the bishop. Oh, that's not a good place to move it, though. Yeah, that's a problem. So your next move, right, after a blunder is often really important to, like, take a breath and figure out, okay, I blundered. It's all right. We got to deal with it. Because here's the thing. Your opponent's king is out in the open. So, like, at a certain point, you just got to go after the king. Finding the right king move is very hard. Like, if you get those puzzles that are like, oh, you're in check and, like, find one of 5 king moves to get out of it, I mess those up every single time. I would just keep giving checks. I think that's also fine. Because you're just hoping for stuff like this. Okay, your opponent saw what you were up to. Move the queen to protect. G5. It's all right. Okay, so you got checked. You moved your king. Yeah, the problem is your king is now, like, kind of a liability. And that's also the problem with pushing the pawns right in front of your king. Like, you see how your opponent, like, you checked your opponent's king into oblivion. Like, it's just out in the middle of nowhere now. But now that your king is wide open, it gets a little bit more tricky, because then it's just like, okay, who's going to find the final blow, the final crazy check that's going to force things off the board or going to, like, win pawns or whatever. Okay, you're trying to move the queen. I see what you're doing. Here probably is the plan. Did your opponent take it? Okay, your opponent forced the queen trade. Yeah, so that's where the problem is. So usually it's okay. Like, you can just take, and they'll take, and now, like, you can just go here, protect your pawn, and then, like, bring your king up and attack the rook. And the thing is, your king is doing a really good job right here of, like, protecting all these squares where the rook would want to go and, like, attack this pawn. So you can just take the queen. But because you moved it, now you always have to look, okay, does my opponent have another check? And this admittedly is pretty tricky to see, I will say. But yeah, and then it's just this pattern. Protects in the corner and you're mated. That's tough. It was an equal game, right? Yeah, it was a really good game, especially played, this guy was 650 against a 900. That was an awesome game. Yeah, I would say that, again, the main takeaway is probably just looking for potential tactics. Maybe not being so eager to push pawns at the beginning. Looking to, like, open up files instead, I would say, with your pawn pushes. Like, I think a problem at the, like, beginner intermediate level is just, like, pushing pawns because you don't know what else to do. One way to just, like, get rid of that is, like, okay, can I prepare to push a pawn to, like, open up a file would be a good example. And then, yeah, just making sure you're looking out for your opponent's checks. Back to the game, or starting the game. Bradders V, rated 997. 997 versus 1020. All right, e-pawn. We have a French. Great. 2 pawns in the center, if possible. Always good. Oh, what is this? It's like a delayed Sicilian. The Alapin. All right, I like this. This is what, when I used to play e4, this is what I also like to play against the Sicilian. So then they take, and then you have a game. And you have 2 pawns in the center. So good job. All right, knight out. That knight out. Do you take or do you push? You push. All right, now it's like a closed French. Or not a closed French. French advanced. Advanced French. A6. A6 is a very, like that's the kind of stuff I'm learning at my level as I'm, like, playing different kinds of Sicilians. And then I played at club and people tell me I'm boring. Okay, you don't have to mirror them, though. Not necessary, just develop your pieces. Yeah, so that's usually the plan. Advanced Sicily French. I like it. Let's add that to the database. So you can go here. So here's the problem. Attacking this pawn twice, right? That is kind of also the the problem with this this Alapin type thing. Black's whole idea is going to be to go after it, but you can pretty easily defend it. You don't want to go here because that drops this pawn, right? Oh, you just don't defend it at all. Right, so now you can do this, and it pins it. Did you find this bishop move? Oh, you did. Nice, nice. They can bring the bishop out. Yeah, and now this is the key. Attacking both. Yeah, so okay, the reason this is a blunder, because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to add another attacker. But now if they take it with check. And then suddenly this becomes a problem. Okay, so you're losing another pawn here. Okay, but your opponent missed it. Winning, well, I mean, still winning another pawn. All right, now we take. Oh yeah, this is tough because this is under attack, and you can't take with queen. Then you lose your rook. Okay, check. So again, you got to ask yourself, okay, when I give this check, what's my opponent gonna do? I can see that you're winning this, but you could have just done that right away, right? Takes, defending the knight, but now we're losing the rook. Okay, don't just whatever you do not move the king because you're gonna lose this too. Okay, good job. I probably would have opted for something like this. So this opens up for a queen trade, and you don't want that. You want to keep your queen on the board, especially when you're down on the material, because you'd rather have the opportunity, the option of going after your opponent's king, trying to attack it. So, okay, you're down on the material. I think the best plan here is probably to try and go right here with your queen. I think that's what you got to try to do, because you have the potential to win this rook. You're castled now, right? So material's not great, but you know, you have some threats. Okay, yeah, so your one asset in this position is like anything along this file. This is an open file. This square especially is really important if you can get your queen there. Just make it as hard as possible for your opponent. All right, rook comes in. Okay, you're getting the queen involved. Ooh, you bring the rook up. All right, I like it. I like it. Yeah, your opponent wants to connect their rook, so it's good to develop your last piece. Okay, yeah, so when you're up in the material, right, that's when you want to trade pieces. So did you trade here? Okay, I like keeping the tension. Okay, we have a trade. We have a trade. Yeah, this pin with the queen is like, if this knight was gone, that'd be nice. Like, you could even do stuff like this, because then it would undefend the queen, and then this pin would be a lot more powerful. It's probably not the best move, but like that's the kind of thing I would be thinking is, okay, how can I undefend this queen and then like bring another attacker and try and win the bishop? All right, giving your king a space to escape. I like it. I might have chosen this pawn because this undefends the knight, but it's fine. Oh, what? Is this a mouse slip? Okay. What? You didn't take it? Bratters. The queen, my dude. How does the pawn move, bud? That happens though. Your opponent just plays something so outlandish that like your brain doesn't even comprehend that it's just possible. Okay, so you didn't take it. Do they leave it there? Okay, they figured it out. Botez Gambit declined. Yeah, wow. Alright, okay. So we're still losing. I see. I was like, how do you end up losing this when they just blundered their queen? But I guess it helps if you just don't take it. Alright, kick out the knight. That's right. This is good. I don't hate this at all. Oh. Yeah, that's tough. Attacking this. And you pretty much have to defend this one because it's check and like you're just getting blown off the board here. Okay, but I don't think your opponent saw this. Okay. I would have taken with the queen. Because now you're pinned. So this makes it, I mean, it's not super easy for black to add an attacker, but like now you have to defend your queen before you can ever move this bishop. Which you can, you know, do something like that and then bring it back. But I think just on a practical level, it's easier to not pin yourself and just take with the queen first. Okay, we won the rook. Oh, we lost the bishop. But we won the rook. Great, get the knight out of there. Push, takes. Okay, now it's getting kind of scary for black, I would say. We're up a pawn. Okay, king moves, just avoiding the check. All right, I like it. You are totally in the game here. Look at this eval. You're plus 10. You can go here. Oh, yeah, I guess that also works. All right. I like that, because if they take, yeah, you can take with check. Good. Now would actually be a great time to trade off the queens, I would say. So imagine these queens are gone. Really, the only problem you're going to have is this pawn. So then you just have to calculate, you know, here. Like, we can get here in time and cover the square. And then we just go win this pawn. Or we just push this guy. And black just can't stop both of them. But keeping queens on it's fine. I would trade him now, though. Okay, I would just trade. Because now you're losing your queen. You're not. Check. Fork. Oops. Fork. Ah! My arrows. There we go. So only move. I'm hoping you played it, but I'm afraid you didn't because you lost this game. Oh, yeah. So especially after you blunder something, you gotta look for your checks right away. Because you don't want to blunder more things. And this just, it gives another pawn. They don't stalemate you, do they? People know how to do this at this level, right? Okay, it takes a while. But oh my gosh. Okay, we got there. Okay, Bradders V, here's my feedback. Here's why you're losing, according to this one game that we're basing your entire life on. The opening, pretty good. I would actually say very good up until defend your central pawns. Okay, that's how you got into a lot of issues at the very beginning. And then I would say you played the middle game pretty well. Yeah, you got very aggressive, which is what you kind of have to do when you're down material. Yeah, the other thing is like this. We gotta take that. Take the free pieces.